We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa, and I'm joined by Quentin today to talk to the brilliant, the one and only Madeleine Leslay, Maddie, who plays Chelsea, who we love so very much. Maddie, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's so lovely to speak to you.
It is thrilling to talk to you. I mean, Chelsea is so beloved. She really is. She stands up to George. She's friends with Oliver. She's just wonderful. When did you know that she was in the cool gang?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I mean, I felt like she was a cool person to play just because you get to speak to absolutely everyone. I think she manages to form some kind of relationship with anyone that she speaks to. But yeah, I mean, she's much cooler than I am. She's got good music taste. She knows about fashion and she's great with hair. So I think she's pretty cool. But yeah, it's nice that you think that she is in the cool gang.
I mean, how much fun, Maddie, is it to play a surly, stroppy teenager?
Oh my gosh, it is so much fun. Going back in time. Although she's got a lot more confidence than I have or had when I was her age. It is so much fun. And yeah, she speaks her mind. She doesn't hold back. But she can also be really kind as well as getting it wrong sometimes. And yeah, when the scripts come in, I just never know what she's going to do or say. And sometimes I just want to put, face palm with some of the stuff she says. And sometimes I'm like, yes, go on, Chelsea, you're so right. So yeah, I love it.
I mean, you could only be Tracy's daughter, couldn't you? Because your voices and cadences mirror each other so well. Is it right you studied Susie Riddell's, how she played Tracy before you auditioned with her?
Yes. Well, that's very kind of you to say. But yeah, I had all these recordings. I sort of went on YouTube and tried to find as many as I could through the years. And yeah, just trying to absorb them. And then, yeah, I went through the kind of audition scripts and all that stuff. And right at the beginning, just trying to copy as much as I could what the incredible Susie was doing. Yeah, so it was kind of like, a springboard to start off from. And then now I think there's probably some differences just as Chelsea's growing up. But it was a great foundation to sort of start from. Yeah. Yes, I did.
And you've had some huge scenes and events. Chelsea's gone through a lot. We've had the pregnancy with Ben, even damaging the car of the woman at the chicken factory, all sorts of things.
Yes.
Is it quite a demanding role?
Yes, I mean, sometimes I do find it not challenging in a bad way, but it does make me really think, how, am I going to convey all the things that she's feeling? Because I think a lot of the time she acts on impulse and she's very loyal and protective of the people that she loves. And I don't know, sometimes me, the actor, kind of, as Maddie, I kind of go, oh, really? Should you be doing this? It is challenging, but in a really, really good way, because it's always really different. I never know what she's going to be doing. And I think she experiences a lot of emotions in a very big way. She doesn't have a filter and she doesn't hide them, which I think is lovely to play. It's a real treat to be able to play those things, I think.
Am I right in thinking that you were also up for Beth as well at the same time that you're auditioning for Chelsea? And I mean, you must be pleased you got Chelsea given her longevity now.
Well, they're both, to be fair, they were both wonderful. They're both wonderful characters, and it's always been a dream of mine to be on the show. So any opportunity to play whoever, and I love Beth. I think she's a wonderful, wonderful character. But I feel very lucky that I do get to be a Horrobin. I love the Horrobins.
Is there anything that surprises you about Chelsea, though, when you get the script? I wonder if when it arrives, you're looking at it straight away and wondering what happens, and anything that's really sort of shocked you.
Well, whenever the scripts come through, I'm always combing through it. Like straight away. I barely even leave my front door because I'm just like, what's going on? Not just with me, but with everyone else. Have I been shocked? Well, I mean, the writing's so amazing that it always goes in a direction that I'm not expecting, which I think is really Have I been shocked? I mean, some of her reactions, sort of when she gets angry at people, especially in the lead up to sort of how she was with when she was worried about or suspected that she was pregnant, basically, and something wasn't quite right. And she just gets so snappy with everyone. And when she was working at the Orangery and her reactions with customers, I was like, oh my goodness, because I've worked in places like that before, and I don't know, you have to be quite careful. So that was quite shocking. I was quite surprised at that. I'm sure there's other things as well, but
Maddie, talking of the pregnancy, you got the script and you found out that she was pregnant, but they didn't tell you who the father was, did they, for a long time?
No, they didn't. And I remember when Jeremy called me up to say that this is happening, she's acting like this because, she's pregnant. And one of my first questions was, who's the father? And he was like, well, you have to find out. And I was so surprised when I found out who it was, because I knew it could be a few different people because of the rave, but I didn't know who. And that was a surprise, but a really good one. I loved working with Ben Norris as well, who's fabulous as Ben. I really treasure that time we had recording those scenes.
I loved your recent disgust when you had to go to Barrow Farm and getting dressed up in the wellies and the overalls and worried about your makeup. It was brilliant. I loved it.
That was so much fun to record. Yeah, I loved that with the pigs, and just the thought of Chelsea and her sort of with her makeup and her hair and her nails in with the pigs.
It was brilliant.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Speaking about the pregnancy and who the father was, I mean, there was so much analysis going on online. Are you aware of all the social media and groups and everyone that really analyses everything that happens in the Archers?
I mean, I know that they're there, and I saw little bits and bobs, which was really fun at the time, because I just love seeing what people are thinking, who it might be, and all that stuff. That was really fun. But also, I think it's important that I kind of let people have their opinions. And
there is so much analysis and like who was going to be the father. I mean, we were coming up with all sorts. And Blake was obviously one contender who Chelsea had been so close to. In a way, we were sort of rooting for that, to have more Blake. Are you protective about the characters and cast that you interact with?
I absolutely loved working with Luke, who plays Blake. But again, those are other scenes that I will treasure. And a part of me was a bit like, it would be wonderful if it was him, because they have such a special bond. But I also think it's quite lovely that they have this friendship that's really strong. And that's actually one thing that I really love about Chelsea at the moment, is that she's concentrating on her hairstyling and her work and herself, rather than dating or finding a guy and that kind of thing. I really like that at the moment.
Maddie, you're a Bristol girl, aren't you?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, and you trained at the Bristol Old Vic.
I did.
And one of your tutors was a certain Sunny Ormond, wasn't it?
Ormond.
Who plays Lillian.
Yes. Oh, she's wonderful. I can't tell you how lovely it is, and I just humbling it is to sort of be working with her. And when we do scenes together, because she's someone I really looked up to a lot when she was teaching me, and I learned so much from her in radio. So I have to pinch myself a little bit when we're in the same room doing scenes with each other. No, I adore her.
Because that green room in the Archers must be a font of wisdom for a young actor like yourself. I mean, you've got some great names in there, haven't you? You must have learned so much of them.
Oh, it's fabulous. Just hearing all the stories, and even people those who've been in the Archers for years, talking about how it was before, and Pebble Mill, and it's just wonderful just to sit there and absorb. I mean, I am incredibly proud to be a part of it. I still feel very new and very sort of green to it. So I feel like I've still got a little while, quite a long while before I earn my stripes. I'm always super, super proud, and I feel very lucky to be a part of The Archers. Yeah, it's always been a dream of mine, as I said. And yeah, I feel very, very lucky indeed.
So have you listened for a long while then? Was it always on in the background? That's how it catches most people. It's, it's in the background. Parents, grandparents are listening, and it sort of just, it's like an earworm, and then it's in. There's no going back.
Yeah, totally. My parents used to listen kind of on and off. I used to always hear it. And my grandmother I don't think she missed an episode. So it's always been around. And then also going to Bristol and being taught by people who were in it themselves, it sort of, became more of a thing. Yeah. And I love it.
Because your mother's French. What did she make of the Archers?
Oh, well, she's lived here for a long time. She moved when she was a teenager. So since then, it's been there. But no, she loves it. And actually, my mum, like, if you speak to her, she's very, like, you'd think she was English when she speaks English, and you think she's French when she's French. So, yeah, she's very anglicised.
Right.
But no, she loves, she's always loved it.
I'm interested, though, when you're recording, Maddie, is there anyone you have to watch out for? Are there any practical jokers or people who try and whisper something when you're recording?
I love that. Oh, I don't know. I think we all like to have a little bit of a giggle when we're recording. It depends on the tone. Because I think, like, if it's quite a serious scene and it's quite emotional, then I think we're a bit like, right, okay, get in the zone. But then when it's stuff like, I don't know, like the pigs, for example, recently when we were in with the pigs, it's that kind of thing, like to have a little bit of a giggle and, light-hearted fun. But also, I guess when we record as well, it has to, there's quite a strict time frame that has to be stuck to. So within reason, like we professionally have a lovely time.
Do you think you'd be mates with Chelsea in real life if you stepped into Ambridge? Oh
my goodness. I'd love to be. I hope so. I don't know. I think in real life I'm a bit quieter than her probably, and I'm quite shy whilst she isn't. So she'd be great to have around because I feel like she'd bring me out of my shell. And she'd just be a lot of fun. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of her though, because I think that she probably holds a grudge.
Yes.
I mean, I've spoken to other people who are recording things when The Archers is being recorded, and they say what they're doing, they've got like all day to record an hour, and yet they see The Archers being recorded in another studio, and it's sort of, the focus, you are working so hard and you're so organised and efficient and get through a lot. Is there a pressure on you when you're there, or is it just, are you enjoying it so much it doesn't feel like that?
I would say definitely enjoying it so much it doesn't feel like that. I mean, you can tell that it's very, that there is, as I said, like there's a time frame. It has to be efficient. There's a lot to get in, but at the same time, everyone is so wonderful at what they do, and it's so well sort of run that it takes away the stress and the pressure. I mean, that's how it feels to us. I mean, I don't know what it's like behind the scenes, but everyone is just so incredible at what they do, every single person, that it is just an absolute joy to go, and the stress is sort of taken away.
Your character has developed some lovely relationships with some of the other characters. I'm thinking Brad, that's very touching. You're very protective of him. And obviously you've grown very fond of Jazza. The one I particularly enjoy is your relationship with the prof, with Jim. You're so protective of Jim, aren't you?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, I love those scenes so much. And John Rowe, who plays Jim, is just wonderful. I have so much sort of admiration for him. So I really treasure those scenes. Yeah, no, I love it. I guess it's that unlikely thing, isn't it? You wouldn't expect them to have much in common, or to be able to speak to each other because they are so different. But then I think that's where the magic lies. And I think that's what The Archers does incredibly well, is finding the commonality and the empathy between characters who you wouldn't expect to. I love those scenes.
Yeah, no, they're lovely scenes. They really are. It struck me that you seem to have cornered the market in getting parts in the longest running productions of all time, because not only are you in The Archers, but you're playing Molly Ralston in The Mousetrap.
I am.
That's quite an achievement.
Very different characters. Oh, it's quite funny. Yeah, and it's funny because at the start I hadn't even put the two together that they were the longest running. Because I think they started within a year of each other.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny that because playing Chelsea, who I guess I am the first person to have played Chelsea at the moment, and to play Molly, who literally hundreds of other people have played. It's kind of, I love the sort of the similarities, but the difference in that, and being able to throw my hat in the ring and have a go at something.
For an actor, it's guaranteed work because they're both still going.
Yes. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, there's so much fun. It was a case of sort of, doing a show I have Sundays off, so going and recording The Archers on Sundays and Monday mornings, and then coming back and doing a show, and then getting the train back up and record it. It was sort of like that. So it's intense, but good intense, and it's so much fun. I really love playing lots of different characters and playing things that are very different from each other. So this has been creatively very fulfilling for me, playing Chelsea in the daytime and then Molly in the night. They're very different.
And talking to you, your hair is not Chelsea hair. You've definitely got Mousetrap hair.
It looks absolutely ridiculous.
No, it doesn't. But if people are desperate to see you in the Mousetrap, Maddie, where are you performing? How can we get them to get tickets?
So I am performing at the St Martin's Theatre in the West End, which is near Leicester Square. I actually am nearly coming to the end of my run, so I actually finish in it the 18th of November. But I mean, absolutely come and see it after that as well. There'll be another wonderful team of people who will bring it to life. Yeah, so if you don't know who done it, then I thoroughly recommend that you come.
You're never tempted to go into a Chelsea accent when you're performing there, I presume.
Oh my gosh, I do have some intrusive thoughts sometimes that I go, oh, what if that happened? And I have to kind of go like, try and not think about that. But I mean, it's totally different worlds. Like the second you see the set for The Mousetrap, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm in the 1950s. In a manor house. Yeah. So it's very much like I've associated the two different things with different places.
Well, Maddie, we do have some questions from the All About the Archers Facebook group. We told them that you were coming on and they were all very excited to talk to you. So if you don't mind, if we can ask you some of those questions, if that's all right.
Yeah, I'd love to answer them.
It's funny, Maddie, because quite a few came on and said, I don't want to ask any question, but I just want her to know how much we love her. Darcy said, oh, please just let her know how much we love and respect her work. Eileen said, just love Chelsea. Andrea said, just tell her that I love her portrayal of Chelsea, and also that when Chelsea is in her 30s, she will marry Freddie. So please start dropping hints to the story editor now.
Oh, I love that.
Sarah asked various questions and time short. I'll just ask one question, which resonates a lot with me, which is why Sarah asked it. But what is your favourite biscuit and what would Chelsea's favourite biscuit be, Maddie?
Oh my goodness. What's my favourite biscuit? Okay. So I think Chelsea, gosh, that's such a good question and one that I really should have thought about because it's important. But
biscuits are very important to us on this podcast, you see. There's a lot of food chat.
Oh my goodness, so there is like pressure.
Well, what would yours be, first of all, Maddie, if you could choose one biscuit?
What is my favourite biscuit? I mean, I do love oh, see, I'm torn now because I do love a custard cream.
Oh, yes.
But I also love a malted milk.
Yeah.
But
right.
I also love a cookie, like a good cookie with like really... Does that count? Like, is that a biscuit?
Yes.
No,
yes.
It's not, is it?
No,
Okay.
it is. It counts. I'm perfectly happy to accept all three of those as your preference.
Cookie with like chunky chocolate in it.
Well, Maddie, are you aware of the new chunky chocolate custard cream, which is available from a store beginning with M, might end in S, and it's 50% chocolate. I mean, Philippa introduced me to them, and Well,
Yes.
I can't resist.
The tagline for the custard creams is more chocolate than biscuit. And I think that summarises.
I think that's been made just for me.
Yeah.
That I haven't tried it, but that'll be my favourite biscuit. And I think Chelsea would probably be the same.
Okay,
yes.
Great. Thank you.
Obviously, the shelves have been cleared by Philippa, but in a couple of months they should be back on. Should have restocked, Maddie. For you. So look, we've got another question here from Annie, and she says, in Ambridge, which character's hair would Chelsea most like to get her hands on?
Gosh, I don't know. Everyone and anyone's really. I know that's a bit of a cop out, but I just think she just loves talking to everyone. And
it struck me that she wanted to get her hands on Paul, didn't she, the other day?
She did, actually. I've just remembered that.
Off. Stay away. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
Paul, yes.
Yeah.
So possibly Paul then, yeah?
Yeah, possibly Paul. I don't know. I just think she wants to. I just think she wants to take over. I think she wants to do everyone, be the person that everyone goes to. I hope she is one day.
Well, the next question is from Fiona, who is talking about your accent and how closely it aligns Trace's, as we said. But she also asked, what about Chelsea's size? Did you decide on those, Maddie? Because they're great. They're superb.
I think I'm not sure. I think that's one of those things that sort of developed over time with sort of as her mannerisms have come through, just from me being a teenager and hearing other young people. It's just one of the things that I've heard that's sort of a thing that I've heard in the people that I'm sort of grabbing from for her. Yeah, and it sort of brings her energy in a certain place.
Just remind us of the sigh again, Maddie. Just give us an example.
What's just sort of just goes
of
like,
the sigh.
Really like that. It's just yeah, like that. It's been a little while since I've stepped in Chelsea's shoes, so it might be a little bit rusty.
Oh no, we're there. A lot of people wanted to know. And I know you can't give any plot predictions or give any spoilers away. I know that. But, looking way ahead, lots of our listeners and followers wanted to know how you think Chelsea's life is going to go. Do you think she is going to branch out and become more independent or become a world-famous hairdresser or an entrepreneur? Or
I mean, I really do hope that being a successful hairdresser is in her future. Because I do think she is really good at it. I think she's really good with people. So I'd like to think that she's going to set up a salon in Ambridge, I hope, so that she's still there. And that it becomes a hub where everyone, like a bit like the shop and a bit like the Bull, where people come in and have conversations and she can be a part of daily life and different interactions with different people. I would love that for her. Apart from that, I don't know. As I said, I think I've said before, I would love to see her, if she does fall in love with someone and have relationships, because I haven't explored that side of her yet. Yeah. I don't know what that Chelsea's like. I'd be intrigued to see how that goes. But yeah, I think that her life is her family. I really think that she wants to be a support for her family and earn money and support them and give back, I think.
Because along those lines, Sarah L. wanted to know that she thinks your character has a lot of potential, as we all do. And she said, I'd like to hope she has a tiny hand in steering the script for her. Do you get any say at all in the way of shaping your character?
I mean, not that I'm aware of, but I think that's quite nice in that I am kind of steered as to every time a script comes through, there's a new colour added to the Chelsea palette. Even if it's like a tiny little interaction with someone that might seem like nothing, but I'm like, oh, okay, so she reacts like that to that. But I mean, I don't know, there might be a bit of give and take in that maybe in studio something comes up and we deliver something in a certain way and then that informs something else. Or I know that sometimes if they hear two characters interacting and they haven't thought about the chemistry and actually they sound quite good together, that maybe there might be a storyline in the future. But so maybe it is a bit collaborative, but I mean, I love the surprise of not knowing what's coming through the door and what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, the last question is from Julia, who also says, just tell Madeleine how much we love Chelsea, which we absolutely do. But one of her questions is, I thought that your acting during the abortion story last year was phenomenal. Was this the toughest storyline to act to date?
Oh gosh, that's very kind. Thank you so much for your kind words. It was quite tough. Just because also, just personally, I really felt the responsibility of really portraying it truthfully and sort of, it's important. I think it's something that touches a lot of our lives. And I knew that, it just wanted to really do it justice, really. But also, it was really tough because Chelsea was confused and really vulnerable, and you kind of somewhat have to put yourself, even though it is, you do have the script in front of you and you're in a studio, you do have to immerse yourself in it. And it was quite a tough place to be for quite a long period of time. But again, I just feel so lucky to have been a part of telling that story and that little corner of her life and that little corner of Ambridge. And as well, it was just such a treat to act. The other actors around me in that storyline was so amazing, and the script writers as well. And it was a big group effort, that storyline was, with everybody involved and the ripple effect of how it affects the village. So it was challenging in a good way. And it's something that Chelsea has in her history that I think will inform her from now on, really.
Absolutely. Well, Maddie, it's just been wonderful to talk to you and hear more about you and about Chelsea, who is a shining star for us all. We just love her and can't wait to hear more of her and more of you. So, Maddie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
you,
you
Maddie.
so much for having me. Honestly, it's so lovely to speak to you. Really is.
Likewise.